Straight ahead on 12 News, a way to give struggling students a second chance.
We know that there are over 4,000 kids who don't graduate every year just in Hennepin County.
Then, where to look for help when it comes to signing up for the new state healthcare exchange. But first, who's affected locally on day one of a government shutdown?
You know, that should never happen.
12 News starts right now.
As parts of the federal government put out closed for business signs, it's causing a wide-ranging ripple effect that many here in the Northwest Metro are feeling.
12 News reporter Sonia Goen shows us how the shutdown is impacting local military veterans.
I was in the Marine Corps. I went in 1950, Korea.
All eyes are on the government shutdown clock. Veterans at VW Post in Crystal and Brooklyn Park are hoping the clock winds down sooner rather than later.
I think ever since Obama got in office, it's been politics as unusual.
The thought that some veterans might not get their benefits is hard to swallow.
That should never happen.
VA benefits are protected, but recently the Department of Veterans Affairs said if the shutdown lasted longer than 2 to 3 weeks, they might not have enough cash on hand to pay benefits in November.
They gotta be paid on time. On time, if anybody's gotta be paid, you know.
I don't like it.
Larry Hopia is the commander of the Osseo Maple Grove American Legion.
You know, the veterans served. They served for their country. They came back. They should be, everything should work smoothly.
He's also the service officer for the Legion. That means he helps veterans to get into the VA system.
So far, I've gotten 77 veterans, men and women, in the VA system, and they all love it.
He says new vets trying to get into the system are going to have to be patient during the shutdown.
I think it might slow down new veterans trying to get into the VA system.
While everyone might not agree with the politics in Washington, everyone can agree they want the shutdown to be over soon.
I just hope this shutdown doesn't hold up any veterans for very long.
Now, the Osseo Maple Grove American Legion says if anyone needs help trying to get VA benefits, to give them a call. We've put their information up on our website, 12.tv. Mike and Alex, also worth noting that all VA hospitals and clinics will stay open during the shutdown.
All right, thanks very much.
Sonia.
Well, the Minnesota National Guard issued a statement today saying more than 1,000 military technicians are furloughed because of the government shutdown. Those notices went out this morning saying that the technicians are furloughed until further notice. But the statement adds the Guard remains ready to respond to state or federal emergencies. Well, the government shutdown does no favors for the reputation of Congress.
One poll this week shows Congress's approval rating is at an all-time low of just 10%. We asked some of you what kind of message the shutdown sends. Here's a few of the public opinions we heard outside the County Government Service Center in Brooklyn Center.
You know, the whole thing is ridiculous. They're acting like, as far as I'm concerned, they're just acting like, you know, spoiled brats. I want my way and that's it.
It does send a message, and I think the message it sends is that group loyalty is more important than common everyday people.
It affects everybody, and then what gets me so upset is that they have the nerve to still take a paycheck when they're not working.
It definitely sends a message that people are not working together, but they want us to work together in our different perspective parts of life.
Despite the partial federal government shutdown, the health care law that touched off the political disagreement in the first place went into effect today.
In Minnesota, MNsure was late taking applications, and in today's health check report, Delane Cleveland has more on how social service agencies are working to help people sign up.
Good afternoon, everybody. Another just fantastic day.
On this first day of October,
our healthcare exchanges opened for the first time to start accepting applications.
MNsure and other health exchanges across the country made their long-awaited debut.
Even though the government is closed, a big part of the Affordable Care Act is now open for business.
And at this Brooklyn Center nonprofit organization,
well, SEEP and our partners in the building, Hennepin County, are going to be very active in working with families and individuals signing up for MNsure.
SEEP Executive Director Byron Layer says they're almost ready to help sign up the hundreds of families who come here every month for services, many of whom have no health insurance.
These computers will be reserved for several hours every day that we're open for people to come in and sign up.
So-called navigators will also be on site 2 days a week to help people sign up on these computers.
There's been a lot of planning going on.
The same can be said about the 80 employees working at the MNsure office in downtown St. Paul.
Some of our staff have been working almost around the clock, and on some days they literally have been working around the clock, 30, 40 hours in a row.
MNsure spokeswoman Jenny Bowering McDonough says the long hours are to ensure that the online healthcare exchange is set up properly for the million Minnesotans they anticipate will sign up.
We're eager to help people who up to now have not had any opportunity for health coverage to have that coverage that they need. That really will give a lot of peace of mind to people, in particular families who say may have multiple pre-existing conditions.
This shutdown is about rolling back our efforts to provide health insurance to folks who don't have it.
Whether people like the law that created MNsure is another question, but at SEEP, they're proceeding with business as usual.
We want to make it as easy as possible for them to look at their options and then sign up.
As we went to air Tuesday afternoon, the website MNsure.org was not officially operational. Meantime, people have until March 31st to sign up. MNsure officials expect more people to start enrolling into health care plans in November. Mike?
All right, thanks, Delane. In other news now, Osseo City Council members are taking a close look at the options for building a new police station. Council members toured 2 sites on Monday night, the old Osseo Pharmacy building that's up for sale and a nearby office building that houses an engineering company. They're also looking at building a completely new station that would cost an estimated $1.4 million. The cost of renovating the pharmacy building is estimated at just under $800,000.
It's a very nice building, built in 2001, and it has about 10,000 square feet in it, very modern building. We'd have to make a garage out of part of it, but we think it might be a very good choice.
The current police station has been in temporary headquarters in a house for the past 12 years. Doug Reeder says the council may make a decision on which way to go in the next month.
This year, a number of women have gone missing in the metro area, only to be found later to be victims of domestic violence. In the northwest Hennepin area alone, 28 people have died over the past 10 years from domestic violence. Their names and stories were on display Tuesday as part of the Clothesline Project at North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. In recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, the college is getting the word out about resources for help.
I think people don't realize how prevalent it is. You know, statistics show 1 in 4 to as many as half of relationships have some type of violence in them. Not necessarily the physical stuff, but also the emotional, controlling behaviors.
A candlelight vigil will also be held tonight at 6:45 at North Hennepin Community College. Coming up, progress for 2 local schools, plus a program designed to give dropouts a second chance.
And later in sports, Maple Grove's boys soccer team is on a roll as the end of the regular season nears.
But first, it's a look at your AccuWeather forecast. 27 schools across the state are no longer considered failing, according to new rankings from the State Department of Education.
And 2 Northwest Metro schools are among those that have made substantial progress in raising overall achievement and closing achievement gaps. Coming off of the list of troubled schools are Brooklyn Center Secondary and Northview IB World School. Education Commissioner Brenda Cassellius praised the schools for their hard work. The ranking system replaces the No Child Left Behind system, and it looks at the achievement gap, graduation rates, and academic growth, as well as proficiency. Well, it's seen as a second chance for struggling students.
Intermediate District 287 is teaming up with Hennepin Technical College to offer a program called Gateway to College. Renee Bonneau shows you how it gets students to graduation and beyond.
Devin Gaines is dead set on a diploma. But unlike his peers at Park Center, he wasn't going to get his in the traditional high school classroom.
I was like 6 credits behind. I needed some social studies credits and some science credits.
He's back on track to graduate thanks to a new program called Hennepin Gateway to College.
Your job is
Students
to read
at
it.
risk of dropping out or who have dropped out take classes at Hennepin Tech and not only work towards their diploma, but earn college credit too.
There might be an ESL student. There might be students who struggle in one specific academic area. But we're also finding students who are disengaged in their high school, and they're really looking for something different.
The program receives funding and guidance from the Gateway to College National Network. There are 43 Gateway to College programs across the country. Hennepin Tech is one of 10 that just opened in the last year, and it's the first in Minnesota.
We know that there are over 4,000 kids who don't graduate every year just in Hennepin County. And so when we see students enroll here and become successful, we know that it's a good match of a program to what a student needs.
Independent is on what? Which one?
Nah. Gaines says he likes the college environment and being treated like an adult, but most of all, he's happy getting closer to his goal.
Everybody tells me like you need to graduate to be anything in life. Like if you don't graduate, you get put in a whole different category from everybody else.
The program's only been up and running for about a month. They started with about 32 students, and they hope to expand next semester. In Brooklyn Park, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
Hennepin Gateway to College is open to any student unlikely to graduate in time and who is eligible for an alternative learning center program. To apply, you can go to district287.org. Well, coming up, finding out something to do over the MEA break.
And up next in sports, a look at 2 prep tennis standouts from a local school hoping to lead their team to a state title. John Jacobson has that and more in just a moment. John Jacobson with sports now. We start with soccer, and you know there's a local team, Maple Grove, who's kind of put together a nice string of wins.
A little bit under the radar, and a team that is peaking at the right time, which is what you want to do if you're a player or coach. We are closing in on the end of the regular season for local soccer teams. The Maple Grove boys have quietly been putting together a strong second half of the season. Maple Grove has won 7 of its past 8 games, with the only loss coming against top-ranked Blaine. Overall, Maple Grove enters Tuesday night's game with a 9-2-1 record. It's a young group that's come together in a hurry.
I'm really excited. The team's been doing well. I think we can get a couple more results if we keep playing the way we are. Team's really starting to mold together, build the chemistry, so it's looking good.
A little bit surprised, but we're very encouraged. We have a young team, a lot of guys who had not had the experience on the big varsity field, but they're doing well. They're early on in the year. We made a few mistakes. They've learned from it.
Maple Grove lost in the quarterfinals in Section 5AA play last fall, but won the title the year before that, and are usually in the mix at playoff time. The addition of Prairie Seeds Academy to their section will be interesting. The Crimson just hope to get a high seed and go from there.
There's a lot of good teams this year, and so I mean we've battled to get as high of a seed as we can. I think that we've done well. So I mean it'll just how the cards play out. I'm not exactly sure, but we're hoping to get as high as we can get.
Maple Grove is at Coon Rapids tonight, Tuesday, and closes the regular season at home against Elk River Thursday. Most high school soccer teams will be finishing up their regular seasons by this weekend. The Brooklyn Center girls hosted St. Agnes Monday night in a Tri-Metro Conference match. First half, and off a Brooklyn Center turnover, the Aggies' Sarah Lynn gets control of the ball, shoots and scores for a 1-0 lead. Later in the first half, and much darker outside, Brenda Vargas Flores chipping a nice shot into the St. Agnes net. Great goal for her as Brooklyn Center gets on the board. But Lynn notches her second goal here, sidestepping the goalie and putting the ball away, and it's 3-1 St. Agnes. The Centaurs, however, answer that. Ellen Padmore's shot deflects off the Aggies defender and right to Amy Aguilar. She scores, and it's a 3-2 score at halftime. Second half, St. Agnes's Victoria Nobles passes to Claire Honerman, and she redirects it in for a goal, and it's 4-2 St. Agnes. Padmore later scores for the Centaurs for BC's third goal of the night, but St. Agnes scores 6 times in the second half, and they win it 9-3. Maple Grove's strong season isn't quite enough at this point to garner them a spot in the top 10 boys rankings, although a Northwest Suburban team is now on top. Blaine is the #1 ranked team in Minnesota in AA, with Minneapolis Southwest second, followed by Lake Conference leader Edina. No schools from our viewing area are in the top 10 in Class AA boys. Burnsville is #1 in Class AA girls, ahead of Mounds View and Prior Lake. Lake Conference teams Edina and Minnetonka are 5-6. Wayzata is the only local squad on the rankings at number 10. In Class A, once beaten Breck is the second-ranked boys team in the state. Benilde St. Margaret's is number 5. The Benilde girls are rated #1 in Class A soccer. Breck's girls tennis team is led by 2 highly ranked seniors who have been sharing the spotlight. Jay Wilcox profiles them on this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12. Here's a clip from that story.
They're basically co-#1 singles players for the powerful Breck girls tennis team. Seniors Patty Zhao and Sunny Tang have been alternating playing #1 and #2 singles, and they're okay with that.
When you're at position 1, it could get really pressuring, so I feel like it's nice to have a switch up and be second sometimes.
Lots of times when we play the same teams every year, we actually play a lot of the same girls from each team, so it's really been fun to switch it up this year and get to play different opponents and have different styles to play against.
Oh, it's just been great without Patty and Sunny. You know, I feel like I wouldn't have the depth that I have because of them being at 1 and 2 and switching off between those 2 spots. It makes my team just all the stronger.
You can catch the rest of the story through Wednesday on Sports Jam at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. here on Channel 12. Section Tennis playoffs getting underway later this week, and Breck certainly a favorite in Class A this year, and those 2 ladies having a great season.
Yeah, you can tell. Good strokes
Yes.
there. Thanks a lot, John. Straight ahead, kids will be off for the MEA break, but there are some plans to keep them busy.
We'll be right back.
It seems like school just got started, and already families are making plans for taking a couple days off during what we used to call the MEA break.
That's already coming up on the 17th and 18th of October, and New Hope is offering kids something to help keep them occupied. They're sponsoring a skateboard camp at the New Hope Skate Pad. It's meant for kids 6 to 11 years old, and they'll take beginners and experts alike. Cost is $30 for New Hope residents, and there's also camps focused on other sports like volleyball, handball, and soccer. Just check with the New Hope Recreation Office, and if you live outside of New Hope, I think you can still sign up. The rate might be a little higher, though, but something to do.
Yeah, they'll be here before you know it, too.
Oh, yeah, time's moving fast. That'll do it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.